The other day I asked you guys to just go ahead and hit that like button if you want to know the facts and you want to see more videos on what's actually happening here in the United States. And a lot of you guys hit that thumbs up button. So thank you for doing that. But what I want to talk about today is something that I've somewhat addressed, but I've never really touched on this completely. And that is the drought. Today I want to give you a drought update, what we're seeing across the United States. Because the other day I talked about excessive heat that we are expecting this weekend, but also moving through this entire week. But I also talked about what President Biden is doing to address climate change. Today, I want to switch gears and I want to talk about the crisis that is impacting every single person in the United States, and that is a drought. Not a potential drought, a drought. Now, I want to read you some figures. Because did you know that 73% of the western United States is encountering a drought right now? Of that 73%, 30% are in the most severe drought categories. 99% of California is experiencing a drought currently, and 87% of the Intermountain West is experiencing a drought as well. Those are shocking figures. 99% of California is currently in a drought. 87% of the Intermountain West is in a drought. That is staggering. And I bring this up because let's just think about this. Let me ask you a couple questions. First, how do we water crops during a drought? Second question, how would you turn on your lights and charge your electric vehicle without water? Well, let's address that. Now, here's what I can tell you. When it comes to watering our crops during a drought, do you know how we do this? Well, I'm going to be very blunt. We don't. You cannot water crops during a drought, especially an excessive drought. What we normally do, what a farmer would do, is a farmer would let their crops die. They would water and provide nutrients and everything to as much of their crop as they can. But then they let the rest of their crops just completely die. Now, they wouldn't replant their crops either until they can be assured they have an adequate water source. That's a problem, because how do we go and get things like lettuce and cucumber and oranges and all this other fruit and vegetables? How do we keep our livestock? How do we keep them hydrated? How do we feed them? Because guess what? Do we feed them processed foods? No. We normally feed livestock hay, right? Well, how do you grow hay? Do you need water? Do you need water for the soil? Right? Again, major questions. But one of the most shocking facts about our current drought is that 75% of the water from Lake Mead is used for agriculture in states like Arizona, Nevada, California, and even parts of Mexico. Now I want to show you some pictures here really quick. Look at this. Here's a picture from Lake Mead. This is their water level. This is in 2022, or this is in 2020 over here. Look how wide it is right here. And this is it in 2022. Look at this, okay? You see this line right here, or that comes up here. That right here is right over here, okay? Do you see how short it is here and how long it is here? The water level was very high. Okay, I don't want to say very high, but it was a lot higher. Well, look at this picture right here. This would give you a better idea of what it's looking like. This picture over on this left side, this is actually in 1983, which you can just see the tops of these. This right here is in 2022. And look at that. You're not just seeing the tops, you're seeing this entire tower. Okay? That's insane. That is completely insane. But that is the problem right now, is we are going through this massive drought. Experts are worried that if Lake Mead continues to decline, the water level declines. What we're seeing right here. If this continues, the water would no longer pass through Hoover Dam. But let me ask you this next question again. How would we turn on our lights and how would we charge our electric vehicles without water? Well, did you know that out of all the renewable electricity in the United States, hydropower actually accounts for 31.5% of it? 31.5% of our renewable electricity here in the United States. And during a drought, guess what? The amount of energy that we can produce is greatly reduced. But not only that, it reduces biofuel feedstocks, and it also increases the risk of a wildfire. And let me ask you this. How many wildfires do we have right now? I know there's one in California. There's one in, I believe, Oregon, maybe. And there's one in Nevada. I believe those are the three ones that we have right now. But again, I could be wrong. Or there could be a new wildfire just starting up from the time that I made this video to the time that I published it, which is not very long. That's an issue because we have this excessive heat. But according to research scientists out of Nevada, one says, and I quote, "All the indicators are showing now that the current drought is one of the most severe in the last several thousand years." It's the most severe that we've had in the last several thousand years. That is not good. Now, right now, many people are not talking about the drought. They're just not. The media is talking about climate change. They're talking about fossil fuels or gas prices. They talk about food prices going up. But nobody's talking about the drought and what we can do about it. Because I can tell you right now, if we didn't have a drought and we had more crops, electricity was being produced much faster. What I know is utility bills would not be as high. If we could produce more crops, food prices would not be as high. Again, major issues. And we are talking about these little things, right? We're talking about food prices. But food prices are up because of other issues, right? Drought is one of those. The other one, gas prices obviously going up. Okay, right now they're coming down, which is great, but they were going up before, which meant gas prices go up, food prices obviously go up as well. But this is an issue because right now the current drought is causing a shortage of crops. It's limiting the amount of hydropower, really hydroelectricity that we can produce. And in a time when government officials are wanting to move away from fossil fuels, this is not a good sign. When we are trying to move away from one source of power and go to a different one, I can tell you right now, I would be worried if I were, and again, I've seen the reports, if I was driving an electric vehicle, because some of the reports that we've seen is, I've seen one thing on TikTok where there were protesters next to a Tesla charging station, and they were just hounding Tesla owners for using their charging stations to charge their vehicles because of all the issues we're having just to produce electricity. Again, it's troubling what we're seeing right now, but this isn't anything new. This drought has been ongoing for quite some time. So I just wanted to fill you in on what's going on right now, because this heat wave that we are seeing right now, it's causing additional food shortages. We're seeing hydroelectricity problems, right? But I just wanted to give you this quick little drought update because it's the drought that's causing a lot of these things. But the drought is being worsened by the heat wave that we're currently going through. So again, that's what's happening right now. As always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.